From JBS Studios in Greater New York, this is the JBS News Update with Teisha Bader.
I'm Teisha Bader with the JBS News Update for Wednesday, July the 25th, 2018. At least one rocket launched from Syria at Israeli territory, likely errant fire from the civil war, landed in Israel. Sirens sounded across the area of the Sea of Galilee, or the Kinneret, which is about 30 miles from Israel's border with Syria, sending residents into bomb shelters. And locals in the area told officials they saw two suspicious objects fall into the Kinneret. Police were on the scene searching for evidence that the projectiles had actually fallen into the lake. The IDF did confirm one projectile as having landed in Israeli territory, and they too were searching for exactly where it fell. Again, the incident is thought to be a case of spillover from the Syrian civil war. And Israel's ambassador to the United Nations, Dani Danon, addressed the UN Security Council's monthly meeting on the Middle East about yesterday's incident where Israel shot down a Syrian jet that had entered Israeli airspace.
The IDF monitored the advance of the fighter jet, which infiltrated about 2 kilometers into Israeli airspace. And we tried to contact a few times, and we get no response. The only thing we can do is to protect our civilians. We cannot wait to see what are the real intentions of this fighter. That's what any other country will do in a similar situation.
The plane crashed in Syrian territory and the pilot was killed. And staying with the UN, the, quote, state of Palestine will reportedly oversee a bloc of 134 developing countries at the world body next year. This according to a report in the New York Times, which said the bloc, known as Group 77, chose the Palestinians, who are not members of the UN but have observer status there, to lead the group beginning January the 1st of next year. And that Palestinian ambassador to the UN, Riyad Mansour, told the Times, we will be negotiating on behalf of 135 countries, including in that total his own delegation. Ambassador Danon told the Times of Israel that the goal of the Group of 77 originally was to facilitate the economic advancement of underdeveloped nations, saying it is unfortunate that it will now become a platform for spreading lies and incitement. Danon said this will not promote the G77's goals and encourages the Palestinians to not engage in negotiations for peace. A British man was charged with trying to burn down an 18th century synagogue in England. The Exeter Synagogue is the third oldest in the country. 51-year-old Tristan Morgan of Exeter was said to have been caught on surveillance cameras pouring a fire accelerant into the synagogue building and trying to light it. Only minor damage was caused. Morgan was charged with arson and the intent of endangering life on Monday in the Exeter Magistrates Court. Meanwhile, the president of the synagogue signed on to an interfaith statement yesterday calling for mutual respect, unity, and tolerance. Also signing the Bishop of Exeter, the Exeter Mosque, the City Council, and the Devon and Cornwall Police. The bishop, Reverend Robert Atwell, said tolerance and mutual respect are hallmarks of a civilized society, and I would implore everybody, regardless of their religion, to condemn any action that seeks to intimidate or harm others. He said everybody should be free to practice their religion, and I ask Christians to stand in solidarity alongside our Jewish neighbors and people of all faiths. Well, turning now to some entertainment news, Israeli superstar Netta made her debut on American television yesterday. The 25-year-old was on The Today Show, introduced and welcomed by host Carson Daly. Before performing her Eurovision-winning song Toy, Netta spoke to Daly on what the song is really about.
Tell me about Toy, this song, a little bit. This is a very empowering song for women.
Exactly. This song was inspired by the Me Too movement, and this is an amazing time when women are finding their voices this year, and,
right.
It's amazing. But you know, it gives power to just everybody who's been struck down by a bigger force, by your boss, by been bullied. So it's to everybody who's been told that they can't be what they want to be.
Right. Don't make me your toy, that kind of a vibe.
Exactly.
Taking a look now at our programming for tonight on JBS for Wednesday, July the 25th at 7 o'clock, a look at the ethics of the IDF. At 7:30, a look at the elite IDF unit Duvdevan. At 8, a discussion of moral dilemmas in the age of social media. At 9, Mark Golub sits down with Congressman Steve Israel on L'chaim. At 10, a look at Jews and pop culture from Limud, New York 2018. And coming up right after this newscast tonight at 6:30, it's Thinking Out Loud with Micah Halpern. And that's the JBS News Update for Wednesday, July the 25th, 2018. I'm Teisha Bader.